Hello everyone, my name is Andre McClellan, and today I'm going to show you guys how to create a Bollinger Bands Squeeze Expert Advisor. This is for beginners, guys. I'm going to go step by step, so let's begin. So first off, guys, you want to go to MetaTrader, open it up, and open up Bollinger Bands. So Bollinger Bands is an indicator that basically has three different modes. We have mode upper, mode made, and mode lower. And with these three indicators, you can use for entering, exiting trades. You can use it to prohibit trades, but we're going to be using it for the Bollinger Band Squeeze. So when you see this type of zone right here, that's why we're going to try to aim for a buy or a sell. We see these Bollinger Band squeezes, right? So I'll be programming this, and we're going to be going to MetaQuotes. So the first thing you want to do is click on this button right here. All right. Once you open up the meta editor, it'll bring up a box like this. And what you want to go to is hit New. Once you hit New, go to Expert Advisor. Type in the name of the Bollinger Bands Expert Advisor. You can type in Bollinger Band Squeeze, and we can just put it as test. But you can name it whatever you want, okay? Hit next. We don't need this. We don't need on timer. On test, we don't need that. Just hit finish, and we immediately need to go to the on tick, okay? The first thing we need to do is create our indicators, okay? And we're gonna add them to our chart. The first thing we're gonna do is add our Bollinger Band main. So the Bollinger Band main is going to be our middle line, and that's gonna be right here. That middle line in the right here. Basically, it's the moving average, but just to sum it up. So we're going to use our first thing called a double. That's going to make it read basically more than a whole number. We're going to call it BB main. We're going to use I bands. And if you guys want to know how to use I bands, just double click it and hit F1. And MetaQuotes reference will give you a breakdown on how to use it and all the other enums you want to use. So if you want to use mode main, 1, 2, you guys can do that instead. We're going to be using null to work on all currency pairs. We're going to be using 0 to be the default time frame. So if you change the time frame, it also updates. We're going to use a period of 20, a deviation of 2.0, and I'm going to show you this when we get to the charts in a second. We're also going to go to here, we're going to use the I band shift to 0, and we're going to use price close, and we're going to use mode main, so that's the center one, and we're going to be running on the current candle. So let's look at that, how it looks on MetaTrader. So when we go through here, we look at our indicator, and here's our inputs. We have the period, we have the shift, and we have the deviations, okay? Deviations, basically, if you want to make larger, we can do a 3.0, for example, or 4.0. And now our deviations are even larger. But we're going to use the default settings at 2.0. Now that we have our mode main, we're going to be making our mode upper. Now, our mode upper is going to have, basically, we're going to scan back 4 candles, okay? We're going to call upper 1, BB2 upper, BB3 upper, and BB4 upper. Now that we have these things, they're very similar to the first one, BB main, but the difference is we're using mode upper, and it's going to be candle 1 back, candle 2, candle 3, and candle 4 back. And we're going to basically change the name to identify our trade, because once I start making the bull statements, it's going to be make it a lot easier to identify what we're looking at, okay? Our next thing we're going to do is create our lower Bollinger Band. All right, here we go. Now, very similar to what I just created above, but we're going to change the name. Instead of upper, we're going to place lower, and we're going to use mode lower, and same numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that we have that, now we have to create our Bollinger Band squeeze to indicate our trade, okay? To get us into the trade. Now, I am going to put, it's a little bit complicated, but I try to make it as simple as possible for you guys. So here it goes, okay? Let me zoom out a little bit. So we're broken down in 2 pieces, right? We're going to call it, before I explain that, we're going to make it a bull, so either being true or false. If it is a squeeze, then we enter in our trade possibly. And if it's not a squeeze, we won't enter at all. We're going to call the bull BB squeeze. And this is important because when we're looking at how a squeeze is created, there's a couple of patterns, but I made it very simple. We're only looking for 2 types of squeezes, okay? We're going to call this one Bollinger Band 1 upper is going to be greater than Bollinger Band 2 upper. Now, this may seem a little bit complex, but the code will be on my website. You guys can just go to my website, just go to Andre J. McClendon, go to the MetaQuotes area, or MQL4, and you guys can just copy and paste it onto your MetaQuotes, okay? So once you have the BB upper, it's going to be greater than or equal to, and this is the scenario for this. Is going to be an OR statement. BB upper 2 is going to be less than or equal to BB3, and this is an important, it's going to be an AND statement that BB4 has to be greater. Now the lower one is just basically an inverse of it, just a reflection of it. Now this one right here, if this for this OR statement is basically checking if this is true or this big block is true. Basically, we're looking for 2 types of squeezes. And if you guys read through the code a little bit more, very similar, but we're just making sure that the indicator is read that it goes expanding and then squeezing at the bottom. We're looking for that little pattern, okay? And I'll show you an example right here. So how we have this squeeze right here, we're looking for that expansion. We want lower indication. So if we look at right here on the data window, it goes small, larger. That's the pattern we're reprogramming right here, okay? Now our next thing is we need to create something to see and identify our squeeze. And this is why we're going to create this if statement, okay? Now this is going to be if Bollinger Band Squeeze, we're going to use double equals. It means it's going to verify and check if it's true. And we're going to do x++. Now this x is going to be important because it's going to be name of our vertical line. And we're going to put this vertical line information in our global settings, okay? We basically make it int equals x or int equals 1. It's up to you. But basically, once that is true and verified, it's going to increase the value, create a vertical line, and that's going to be name of it x. And we're just creating vertical lines and identifying where the zones are, okay? But to break that down, you do object create. If you don't know what that is, hit F1, and you guys can read how to create all the different types of objects. But for this example, we're making a vertical line. We're using time 2, so that means it's going to be basically on the back during the ask and basically 0. So very simple settings. I don't want to make it complex, but this is how you make a vertical line, okay? 2 candles back. Our next thing we're going to do is add our trade, okay? We're going to be doing a buy and sell. Now our buy is going to be very simple. We're going to do if BB squeeze equals true and the orders total equals 0 and the ask is greater than mode main, BB main, then we're going to execute our buy order. Now our buy order is very simple. It's going to be order send. And if you want details once again, double click it, press F1, and it'll break down some of the details, okay? Our next thing would be null because we want to work on all currency pairs available. OP buy, that means instant execution buy. Our lot size is 0.01. We're going to use the ask as the entry price, and we're going to be looking at a slippage of 5. Now, when we're looking at this part here, this has to be very different on each currency pair. I'm using pound yen, so I'm doing the ask minus 50 pips, which is a stop loss of 50 pips, and a target profit of 150 pips. You guys can change it to whatever you like. This is just basic settings, okay? For the magic number, the comment, and also the time, just fit null, and we're going to use color blue. Now we're going to do the exact same thing with a little bit twist and create a order send, and then I make our bid below the main. And if that's true, then we'll enter our squeeze, okay? We hit compile. Let's see, no errors. And we're going to go to our trader. This one is called, make sure we know, BBS tester, okay? What you guys want to do is go to strategy tester. Strategy tester is up here. You guys can click it or press Control R. We're going to be looking for BB tester. All right. We're going to be using pound yen. It's one of my favorite currency pairs. That's why I always use it. We're going to use the 15-minute. You guys can use whatever time frame just to give you a visual what's happening. I'm going to hit start. Okay. Now we can get rid of the data window. All right. Let me change the color a little bit. All right. And we add our Bollinger Bands. Go to Bill Williams. I think, oh no, it's just bands. Remember, we're using default settings. So we got very easy settings. We're going to hit play and see how it goes. So we can see that, it's running a little bit fast. Let's zoom in a little bit, zoom out. We can see that every time there's a confirmed squeeze, we get a vertical line. And then if there's not a trade available, it will either enter a trade. So right now we have a buy order off of that squeeze right about there. And then we'll enter in or not. So it doesn't get all the different squeezes because there's different types, like some expand a little bit differently, but you can program that. I'm just showing you guys a very simple way to program a squeeze and also show like a visualization for it. And this is a very simple expert advisor. Not to say it's supposed to make money or not, but if you're looking for something that can use the Bollinger Bands, target an area, then this is a good way to use it. And also, if you guys want to add more indicators to it, like the MACD, the RSI, stochastics, definitely can add that. So if you're looking for a good entry, you guys can also add that to the if statement saying, hey, if the RSI is above this value, enter here. If it's below this value, enter here. Same thing for stochastics or other indicators. And this is basically a very simple way to do it. And if we go to the graph so far, it only took about 4 trades, but it's a very easy thing to program, guys. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I can go over this more in detail in my Telegram group. So please, guys, join the Telegram group. We can talk more about trading and finances or just general stuff like that. But other than that, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.